see no changes.
Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to ReLAYshons. Hello again. I'm here for a 2-for-1 special. This is the same night I recorded episode 9 after being a guest on Honestly Lying podcast. It's a little raunchy, so please, it's rated R. Don't watch it with your kids.
No.
So we have another guest, the second of the other half of the Honestly Lie podcast. His name is Paul, and Paul, I call him Brown. I'm gonna call him Brown because I just feel more comfortable calling him this. Brown, I met Brown through a mutual friend of ours, and he was at this New York hip hop event, and he walked in with the biggest, it was like the start of the beard era,
Yeah.
and his came in like you could see it from the door, and I'm like, look at this guy just came in not even caring, like he is gonna come and shit, and people are still trying to catch up. And he was already there, you guys. Okay.
Early in the big game.
So we just stayed in touch, and we've been Instagram friends and casual friends. I've seen you maybe a few times. Oh, we ran into each other randomly.
Yeah.
2 summers ago.
When you was visiting.
Yeah, I was visiting from California. I ran into you in a bar randomly.
Yeah.
And then we went to a hookah bar. I mean, it's always a situation when we catch each other.
Yeah.
So thanks for being here.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for coming earlier, actually.
Of course. I know it was a good, interesting time.
A lot of hospitality. I got a cup of red wine.
Yes, I give people red wine. I set the vibes. I'm a vibes only person.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm about to read the first 3 chapters of a good book.
Yeah, we're about to dig deep. I'm a deep person. I don't like surface things. So let's go into that honestly lying portion of you.
Mm-hmm.
The premise of this podcast is follow your heart and go with your instincts. And so what we are trying to kind of heal today is this idea that we need to stay in our cycles, keep those people around us that we know are no longer beneficial to us, or stay in that job that is taking over everything that we are.
Yeah.
And just doing all these things that you continue to do, and you're so unhappy doing them, but you just keep doing it.
Keep going through the motions.
Yeah, it's hard, right, to make a change, to make a different decision.
It really is. Sometimes you almost got to be forced.
Oh,
honestly, I think that's how I've gotten stronger in that position.
Life forces you.
I've been forced several times in life, and then I've shown up like, I hit the winning shot. And so, therefore, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, every time you hit the winning shot, you more and more confident about taking the shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, by the time Michael Jordan was in his 8th or 9th year, he was ready to take the shot in the 4th. He like, nigga, I did this before.
Mm.
Yeah, so, like, I mean, all I'm saying is, like, when you had your back against the wall and you performed, it's a lot easier to perform in the future.
Right. So do you believe you even have a choice? Because sometimes I say, like, I feel like life, if you don't do it, it's going to beat you up until you do it. So you might as well just do it.
Yeah, nah.
So I don't feel like I have a choice.
I don't think you have a choice. I think you have choices, like, but on a small scale. And I think even when you might make a drastic decision and get off of, the path that you're really supposed to be on, you just setting something up else that's got to happen drastic to put you right back on the path you're supposed to be on anyway. So, I don't know. I just see it like, all things happen for a reason. And when you make decisions you're not supposed to make, that you've been checked for, and you just force it anyway, you still end up in the same place.
Oh, so you believe that if you keep going in cycles until you make the right decision?
Yeah, I definitely do. I believe in that.
Because we make decisions.
I think I'm a living testimony of that. Like, I go through the same shit over and over.
I
I'm one of
hate
them
that. Don't
dumb
you hate
niggas.
repeating cycles? Like, why do I feel like I
I'm one
did
of
this
them.
already?
Yeah, I don't know if everybody else is like that,
I
but
get
like
so angry.
change is very difficult though. So
Yeah,
that's
it
the thing. It's
is.
like, so you know, most people gonna keep going through the same shit over and over. It takes a long time for you to recognize that you got a problem, and then it takes a long time for you to develop a plan to
Oof.
change the problem. Then it takes you a long time to
Oh my
get yourself to really
God.
do it. So like people that make
Long-winded.
change, those we the strongest people.
Oof.
Like, that's a
I
fact.
believe that. So that's a good
Like,
transition.
you know.
What's something that one of the greatest decisions that you've made towards change in your life? You would say.
I don't know about necessarily the greatest decision. I don't
Or
really
one that has like
consider
taught you the
myself.
most,
Yeah, I was gonna
maybe.
say I don't really consider myself the best decision maker. Like at times,
But you're
but
making
I think
change.
that no. What I'm saying is like I don't like to think of myself as the best decision maker because I think I made a lot of bad decisions. But I do think that when my back's against the wall, I make the right decision, which is I either you because you got two decisions you can make. You got two options when your back's against the wall. It's like either I'm just gonna sulk in this and play victim and not do nothing about it, or you gonna stand tall,
Mm.
figure it out, rough it out, and I'm all about that. And so
Mm.
that's the only thing that saved me. I think I make terrible decisions. I'm a
But
fucking
your
idiot.
resilience.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
That's
Oh,
so
I'm sorry. I
amazing.
cursed on your
You're
thing.
resilient. That's
Yeah, I'm definitely
why.
resilient. That's the only thing I'm good at. I
Being
promise you.
resilient.
Yeah, that's it.
I believe so. I'm getting, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
I told you earlier that I was going to Thailand for my holiday break.
That's lit.
And I'm gonna get the word resilient tattooed on me. The old style way,
Where
like
you
with
getting the
the
tattoo at?
stone in Thailand.
No, weird.
Oh, I'm thinking right here, like on my
Oh,
shoulder
okay.
type, maybe like resilient all the way
That's
across.
fine.
I'm not sure yet, but I believe that resilient is something that supersedes our generation, and it also supersedes like our ancestors, specifically people from our cultures.
Yeah.
Like that's
We're the
the
most
one
resilient
thing we
people
were
in the world.
trained to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
once you get faith in your resilience, then you can't be stopped. That's my whole thing. Is like every time that that something fucks up in your life and you work your way out of that shit, then you realize, oh shit, hold up. And then after a while, once you keep doing it, you be like, oh, this is no coincidence. Like, this is what I do. Like, you know where I'm coming from? So that's what I'm saying is like, yeah, we already resilient, but you can't really tap into that until you start having faith in that. Like, you know where I'm coming from? And so, like, and the only way you start having faith in that, I think that's the best part about me being a fuck up. I'm a fuck up. And so that revealed to me that I'm resilient. Like, so my little bad thing that I got going on is what let me know, like, oh shit,
right.
but you, fuck it, you
That
be
was your
fucking up,
lesson.
but yeah, you the shit though, cause you could, all right, and then you know what I'm trying
it's
to
like
say.
you're messed up, but you're also amazing because of the mess up.
It's like, oh shit, I figured out I'm an idiot, and because I'm an idiot, I figured out, oh, but
that
you're
I'm
good at
great.
this. You're good at this shit though.
But I'm actually great.
There you go, and that's life right there,
right?
In a nutshell.
It's like, oh my gosh, I never even like put it together in that way. But I've always thought about that too, because sometimes that's what I usually tell myself in the mirror. Like sometimes I'm like, gosh, Melissa, your whole life is a mess. Like you just, I'm hard on myself.
This, doing that.
And then the next moment I look at myself and I'm like, but girl, look at you though.
See? And you like, nah.
Like I literally go from like one to the other fairly frequently on a daily basis, like frequently in a day. I would say, like, I have to give myself pep talks. Like, Melissa, come on now, let's stop playing right now. Like,
No,
you better walk down this. You better walk down the street like you own this.
Yo, I'm gonna need you to write some of your accomplishments down somewhere here.
I know. So I have. Guess what? I have a gratitude. No, I'm having a vision board brunch at my house on Sunday with 7 of my friends. I invited them over randomly. I was like, let's just come and like let's do our visions for 2019. We're gonna like post out everything.
That way you can look at that. Like,
yeah, you know every day be reminded.
Yeah, so you start feeling wrong. You're like, nah, but you got all that.
Yeah, I used to have a manifestation wall in my last apartment. And it was really, I mean, even the check, I remember I printed out a fake check and I put the price out of the amount that I want to get as a salary. Bruh, that was the same exact salary offer. Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes, and I saw the movie.
Yeah, I wanted to do that after I read The Secret.
That manifestation stuff, like literally the same exact salary I wrote. I know, it's real.
I believe in that.
We are creators.
That shit is fucking. That shit is like magic.
This is what I do. This is what humans and spiritual beings are master creators. God created us to create. We created everything you are looking at right now. Right now, stop and take a look in the room that you're in. Everything that you have looking at right now is. You thought someone thought it, and then someone told somebody about the idea, and then they created it, and then they sold it, and they brought it to life. That's what this is all about, bringing things to life. So, and we all have it. So we're all creators. There's no such thing as like people who are not creative versus they are. Like all of that is not real.
Yeah, like when people say they're not creative, now you just don't know what you want to create. But you're a creator. You don't know what you create, but you're a creator. Like. And listen, I used to do music, which you know what I'm saying, I hate to say, I really hate when I say I used to do music, right? But like I guess it's kind of true at this very point in time, but that might not always be true. No. I'm just saying
it's true. Whatever you want it to be true.
No, where I'm coming from is like at this very moment, the honest truth is that I used to do music because I'm not really doing it actively at this moment. But like I realized now, like at this point in my life, when I'm not really doing music the way I was, it's like I love doing music, but what I really loved is to create. Like I enjoy to create things and to kind of put them out there and see what the reaction is to it, like see how it helps. And so like me understanding that as opposed to me just tapping into it, you know, related to music. Like kind of like I don't know. It gives me so many more options into what I would like to do and what I can.
It doesn't hinder you like, oh, you're a music person, which is why like
which is great. At the same time, I like music, which is why I don't want to say I don't want to do music, but I could do so much more kind of shit.
Well, don't you hear
create all kind of things?
That's the current trend going on right now in Hollywood. Like John Legend winning like the EGOT, and like basically you did like. You were an actor, you were a singer, you were a producer, you were a fashion designer. Like, you literally did it all. And, like, I think that we are living proof that you can. That you could train yourself to be whatever it is that you want to do at that moment.
Man, I used to take iPhones apart and put them back together.
Yeah, we don't.
Or for YouTube videos. I'm just saying, you could do shit,
you could do stuff. And there's a YouTube video for everything, too.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Shout out to YouTube.
YouTube is the shit.
YouTube teaches you everything.
YouTube can teach you anything, man. You don't got to go to school, man. If you really want to do some shit on your own. No, I'm not saying not go to school. Yeah, no, kids need to go to school. But what I'm saying is, like, if you want to learn something and you don't have the money to go to school, you can learn that craft right on YouTube. No bullshit. It's just you got to put the pain and you got to put the time in. You got, you know what I mean? And that could, if you get good at it from that angle, you could find your way into some opportunity where maybe you weren't able to afford it before, but somebody might show you some love or something just because you good at what you do.
Right. I mean, and everything is subjective and based on people's own perspective, right? And so what one person thinks to be great, the other may not. Like, this is why people's opinions on Instagram is such a big deal, right? Because everyone wants to judge this versus that, this and what their opinion is, and it's the way our world is, but I think it's just really not even that important. But for me, my biggest decision was to move across the country. Yes. So, and that was based off of instinct and following my heart too. To me, by the way. Yeah, it was super scary. I didn't know anybody there.
Love gangsters like you.
I didn't know anybody there.
Y'all the real gangsters, man. I'm telling you. Like, stop. This is real shit. Like,
and I moved to the middle of Oakland too. Like, it's not even like I moved to Fruitville Avenue, okay, in Oakland. Like, it's so crazy. But I knew that I needed to make a different decision because where I was at was so uncomfortable. Like, and I had it all. Like, I had my own place. I had a job that I had been in for 4 years, had just gotten a promotion. Like, I had a man. Like, I had no reason to be unhappy and uncomfortable, which is probably even worse than being very unhappy and uncomfortable, because when you think you have all these things that's supposed to make you happy and then you get it and you be like, whatever.
It's not what like, you expected.
Yeah, this is regular stuff. You're just like, damn, so then what is it? What is it that I need to figure out?
What, I'm trying to think, like, what made you feel like it was the right time to let go of things like the things like your relationship and your job and stuff?
Nothing was enough.
It wasn't fulfilling.
Nothing was fulfilling. So I knew that in order for me to feel fulfilled, I had to step away and connect with myself. So I had to remove myself from my environment. I had to remove myself from my family. I had to remove myself from my friends. Like, I had to put myself in a space by myself, far, far away, so I can focus on myself. Because, I mean, I'm the oldest of 3 children. I'm also the oldest female out of 13 cousins that I all grew up with. So I grew up in a big family. I was the oldest one, so I always had to be responsible. I always had to share. I never really had anything on my own. I always had to look for two other people. I also come from a domestic abuse household, so I was always living in fear that, like, my dad was going to kill my mom and it was going to get really bad. So it's like always this protective feeling that if I would have stayed here, I would have just continued to give of myself. It's in my nature to give. So I was like over giving. And I was losing myself. I was disconnecting from myself. I was always unhappy. I was numb to everything. So I was like, either I go or it's never going to happen.
I got you.
So it was more like, all right, well, like I always told my mom, I was like, Mom, it's like, it's a sinking ship, right? And you have one life jacket that you see. Nobody else can see the life jacket, but you can see the life jacket. So you're like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this life jacket on. I'm going to go and try to go get some help. And then bring it back to save everybody.
You got to help yourself.
But you got to help yourself first, because I can't drown in this ship with them. It's either I drown with them or I jump out and at least try to save all of us.
And at least I survived.
Like, but it isn't even just that I survive, but the idea of like, well, if really one of us are doing something to bring back.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, even if you go to bring somebody back or you save yourself, like, that's one more person that's better than didn't pass away.
None.
Like, my whole thing is you can never look out for other people if you don't look out for yourself. So it's always selfish first. And it sounds terrible, but the real right move is that. Yeah. And then, okay, let me look out for everybody else. Because you can't properly look out for everybody else if you don't look out for yourself.
Literally, you would then disappoint yourself.
You doing everybody else a disservice. Like, real shit. You, for all the other people that you are responsible for or that depend on you, you are doing them a disservice if you don't look out for yourself.
That's true. Because at least you have I always looked at it like, if I go and get it and bring it back, at least at least it's a 50-50 chance, right? Because before we had 0 chance. But if I go and you stay, then at least we'll have 50% chance. And 50% chance is better than 0. Because if I stay here, we're all drowning.
Yes.
And I can't drown with you.
All right.
So I have to step away, right? And that's when you have to, that's the letting go part, right? Yes. Which was super hard for me. Like to leave my mom as my best friend. I mean, even leaving across the country didn't even disconnect us. I spoke to her every morning, every night. I would check on her during the day. Like, I spoke to my mom about everything. There's nobody else I trusted on this earth but her.
I got you.
She's probably the only one I told everything to. And that I would trust their opinion. So for me to disconnect from her, and then my brother, me and my brother were really close, and then he commits suicide a year later after I leave, and then had to hear his
after I went to
Cali, he committed suicide. And then his girlfriend also, sidebar, she probably listened to this, she mentioned that that he really missed me. Like, when I left, it was like a big deal that I left him. And so I carried a lot of guilt for that. Like, damn, right after I leave, you get sick, like, and then and like I wasn't here for you. You know what I mean? And then my mom, like, I was gone for all that long time. Then she gets sick. I come back, and then she passes away 2 months later. So it's like, I mean, I don't think it's what I'm taking as a consequence, but it was a balance and a risk that I took when I initially left, right? That I was going to lose this time with them or this space with them, although I still felt connected to them.
And you felt like it went in the worst way it could have happened.
There was a time that I did. Like, damn, if I would have stayed, maybe I could have.
At least I would have had that extra time.
At least the extra time, or maybe I could have done something to prevent it, or, something. Like, there would have been, like, there's all these shouldas and could'ves if you were here. Like that. But I've gotten better. I mean, I'm going through therapy and I'm getting through the healing process of it. But there was a time that I believed that. But I still don't regret it. I don't regret any decision that I made.
The greatest.
It was the best part. It was the best decision I ever would have done.
Like, y'all, I'm not for a curse.
No, go ahead.
But I'm just saying, y'all are the gangsters of the world, man. Y'all people that's like, yo, listen.
Take risks.
Yeah, I'm ready. Like,
take an adventure.
This shit is bullshit. My fault. Yeah, I go.
Stop cursing.
Get my life together. Like, I need church, y'all.
Yes, he does.
Like, y'all to just make those type of decision where it's like, listen, I gotta go make time for myself. I gotta go make space for myself. Yeah, I gotta go see if this can work. You know what I mean? Because, like, you never know. It might work. It might not work.
Yeah, it's very risky.
But it's only one way to find out. You gotta
and you go through a lot. Like, I went through a lot. When I tell you, I was like homeless at one point.
I believe
I was very broke at one point. I was very hungry at one point. It was a long trip, depressed. I was sick. I mean, I had to go through all this stuff, but I don't know. Have you read the book of The Alchemist?
Yeah.
So I read that book right before I decided to move. And literally, I felt that, like, that little boy. Like, I felt like I was really going from, like, trial through tribulations, like, back to back. I was like, I never should have read this book. It ruined my life. But it was worth it. It was worth it. So what are you thinking? Following your heart, like, what would be your healing in this process of getting to the point where you can make more of these life-changing, different decisions?
I gotta be more disciplined. That's what I need. I need discipline. Discipline is gonna help me make better changes in my life. See, change is all about discipline. It roots in discipline, and that's where I'm lacking. I'm lacking in discipline. So if I want to change, I'm very focused on change. I'm not very focused on discipline. So that's where I'm delayed. So we're going to get more discipline this year, though.
It's about to be a brand new year. We get to start all the way over.
Oh, man, I wish. See, if things is very syndicated on your show, you know. So I can't explain why I'm not disciplined. But I'm going to figure it out.
Does it have to do with...
It has everything to do with that. Yes.
Yeah, we need discipline in a lot of ways, right? It's not just about like waking up at the same time every day or going to the gym 3 times a week or eating healthier
I do
more
all
often.
that. That's the funny thing is
You
I'm
do all of it.
disciplining.
So your character
areas.
is
Yeah, I
disciplined.
got a disciplined character, but in certain areas I'm just not disciplined. Not, you know what I mean? I got to work on that. But I know I got to work on it. It's like not something I'm in denial about.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? That's the first part to handle. It's like accepting, like your own bullshit. Like being honest with yourself. I'm honest with me. I know who I am. Like that.
You understand yourself.
I do, very much so.
Which is important, right? Because then that you're the opposite of episode 9, right? You don't believe that ignorance is bliss. You believe that knowing yourself is important.
I believe knowing myself is important. Yeah. Episode 9 is against therapy.
Yeah.
Therapy is I'm very much for. It's how you learn yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's valuable. It's valuable to connect with you. Brown, you guys. Episode 9 is in the room, so he's feeling some type of way. But you were being honest. But you didn't have to call that shot.
I'm just saying. But it more or less than a shot is like, I'm into the idea of wanting to know myself. Like I really want. I don't know everything about myself, but I'm into the idea. Like I want to get to know myself. I think that's the root of me perfecting whatever I got going on. It's like me knowing myself so I can know how I'm gonna react to things, and then so I can plan for that. If I know I'm gonna go in a situation,
strategic.
Yeah, because if I know I'm gonna go in a situation, and I know in this type of situation I'm gonna be on some bullshit, I'm gonna do blah 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 blah. Either I can make a decision and not go. Or when I go there, I can make other decisions to keep myself away from certain shit that I'm not, trying to be a part of. Yeah. I think that's men. We can use that method in relationships to avoid cheating.
Which is what?
You must plan. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you want to avoid cheating, you gotta plan. You have to plan to avoid cheating.
Plan to be intentional.
Like you have to be intentional with your habits. Like as a man, you're gonna want other women. That is just who you are. Right. Don't lie to yourself, player. But you gotta plan for that.
And what is a planning method? Like when you say plan, how?
That means when you pull up in a situation, or when you recognize, okay, hold up, all right, I'm about to go to this situation.
Go ahead.
Big booty Tony gonna be there.
Who?
Big booty Tony.
PG.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Can we just call her Amy?
Yeah, you're right. I objectified a woman right
Can we call her Amy? Can she just be
Amy? Amy, who I'm attracted to, is gonna be there. Okay. And it's probably gonna be some other women there. My woman's not going. I got plenty of opportunities to get in the mix right here. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna go that night if I know I can't handle that room. Like that's the only thing you can do as a man who's trying to avoid that. If you know you're a flirtatious nigga who can't avoid, you know what I mean, can't avoid getting in certain situations when you're presented with these type of opportunities, then you have to avoid the situation altogether. Some dude that might be able to go in the room and mingle and that, then he might can still go. Like, but you gotta know yourself. You gotta. That's my whole point. You gotta be honest with yourself. You gotta plan. You gotta be intentional.
Intentional. I like that word, intentional. Yes. Everything is about intentions. We create with our intention.
With intention.
Everything is with intentions. So we have intentions to change, and this is perfect as we start the new year. It's perfect to start setting our new intentions and and make some changes, make different decisions. If you find yourself doing the same thing over and over again and falling in the same hole over and over again, continuing to be unhappy and complaining,
maybe you're following Paul.
maybe you need to make a different decision.
Yes.
So let's make some changes in this life.
Let's improve, y'all.
Let's improve. We need to be better. We need to be better. It has to be better.
Yes.
So stay tuned for the after credits. Remember,
it's
the best part.
And that's the way it is.
Come on. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. That's just the way it is.
And now, the best part. Here are the after credits. A message from my co-host.
Alright, so what I'm thinking is like I just want to touch on not ever feeling boxed in. Like it's you know, not getting too comfortable places, and I mean I really want to directly relate that to work. Like if you're somewhere and you don't like being there, or you feel like you might be bigger than your current situation, like I mean if you got to hold it down for survival for a moment in time or for a period of time, do that, because you know, I mean that's your situation, but you never lose focus on expanding and getting in a better place. So always be looking for a better job. Always be looking for a way to level yourself up so better jobs are available to you. And then always be looking at what you're gonna do with whatever money you're making to put yourself in a position where you don't even need a fucking job. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, ultimately, that's where I'm at. I really want to make the change from working for somebody to a position of, you know, making my money solely off of my own ventures and my own setups. So, I mean, but none of that happens without a plan. And so I'm not telling y'all nothing. I'm not trying to perfect myself. That's all I'm saying. So it's all about change, leveling up, motivating yourself, and focusing. You know?